This is your host, Joe Saz, and today we're going to dive into some Bitcoin price action, take a quick look to see what is going on, and see if we're going to actually buy our way out of this little mess. So jumping right into it, let's look at a 15-minute chart. And it was pretty good for us that we were able to climb our way out, got through some sell signals, peaked the top of them. And so this set of signals was broken after our last little steep move down, straight single candle move down, climbed our way out right into signals, responded, built our way back up, and got signals again. Now, this is what's kind of crazy to me, is getting signals at 26,000 after having spent a long time sideways in the high 20s, even low $30,000 price range. So coming out of this, we had an immediate buy signal, went sideways, and then dumped into our triple overlay confluence with our trend bias indicator, this 5 to 10% band lit up, our 2.5 to 5 band lit up, gold mine, and a number of trade signals in the 1 to 2.5% band. So basically what I'm saying is as hard as it is for us to climb out of this mess, we're still bullish. There's nothing that I'm looking at right now that scares me. It's a scary time, but nothing in the chart expresses that there's enough sellers to pound through all this support. And on top of it, we have a dual band confluence with the aggregated spot markets strongly bid dominant, and we have aggregated perp markets building up their long positions, especially into this little slope right here. So what I see going on right now is a very bullish scenario. And I think this is just some Friday fuckery, just messing with us to try to shake the last little bit of people out of their long positions. I'm sure there's way too many over leveraged positions out there, and I'm sure there's people that are capitalizing on that. Looking at the CME gaps. Now, this is where the big picture comes into play for me. We have we're sitting in limbo right now, 25,000, with gaps as high as 31 local gaps. We have a super local gap in the 27s to near 28,000. We have a $29,000 gap and a $31,000 gap. We have three gaps to the upside, and then we have one big fat gap down to the downside, and obviously some others below that, but those I think are gone forever. The ones that I think are most important to pay attention to are mostly up, and then this one $20,000 gap. So the question I'm asking myself is, are we in a bear market with enough selling power to break through all that massive support that we have and fill this gap down here? Or are we just dealing with the black swan event and getting played with because whales like to eat small fish like us? And are we going to climb right back up and fill these CME gaps imminently? Right now, the answer to that question is we head back up. There's too much support, and I don't think that there's a seller out there that wants to pound the market to 20K. I just don't see what that would accomplish. Not without some serious fundamental outlier like Binance getting shut down, or any one of these really crazy situations happening. But I think this event itself, a crash all the way down, however many percents that was, that I think was the black swan event. So now I think we just rebuild from it, and unfortunately it's taking time. And here's Bitcoin on the daily. Here's our black swan, massive single candle move down. And we can see the body alone is 7.2%. With the wick, we're probably talking 10%, 12%. So probably a double-digit move down on the day. This to me is the black swan. And we're now floating below our long-term moving average, Consensio bearish, and we're just chopping sideways through this. So I don't think this is a range. I think this was an anomaly. And I still think our next move is probably going to be testing some of this action. And you can also note that down at the bottom of the screen, our RSI is still super cooked right now. So I feel like the market is in a very irrational state. We have so many bullish triggers lighting up, and we haven't really gotten the equal and opposite force of this black swan event. So to me, the market is in a state, an irrational state. And I believe we will go up. And always remember that emotional selling always leads to emotional buying, and vice versa. Emotional buying always leads to emotional selling. In my eyes, other than the person that triggered this, probably being a single candle move, it happened in 5 minutes or maybe a little bit more. But it was mostly the act of an individual, right? And everyone else that jumped into that is an emotional seller. So chances are, I think we recover pretty well with emotional buying and set ourselves back up. Hopefully not for something too crazy, because you don't want emotion to counter emotion. You want something stable, right? Especially as it pertains to price action. But we haven't made a lower low. And I think we just need to recover what we lost on that blast. And now we have silver on the 4-hour sweeping back up, looking good. And I'm just using silver as my market peg because silver doing as well as it is, and silver being such an old asset and similar to what Bitcoin is in many ways, also gold, of course. I think it's good to look at things like this. It does represent a similar psychology to a similar style of asset. So I think looking at silver, something that you can physically own, something that you can transact anonymously and peer-to-peer, I think is valuable to compare to something like Bitcoin. And to see silver curling up and making its way back to, monthly highs or something like that, it indicates to me that Bitcoin's probably going to do the same. There's just a little bit more dry psychology in Bitcoin. People have been pummeled right now, and all the people that talk about buying dips are nowhere to be found. So it just that's how Bitcoin works. The further down you go, the more scared people are to buy, and the further up you go, the more happy people are to buy. So Bitcoin has a very interesting psychology associated with its buying and selling behaviors. So right now we just have to wait for the bulls to regain some confidence that this thing isn't going to get pressed any lower, and then you'll have your competition to buy again. So on that note, everyone, thank you so much for tuning in. Do your push-ups and your sit-ups and turn your shower water cold. Always be in pursuit of the mastery of yourself. Do beautiful things with your life and help other people pursue the mastery of themselves as well. And I wish you all an absolutely beautiful day. Take care, everyone. All right. Peace.